Hello, welcome to the Good Vibes Only podcast. I'm your host, Classic Dylan, and today I will want to discuss a topic that I've never been through myself personally, but I know it's dawned on a lot of personal friends and some people that I've seen online. Not even some people, a lot of people online, especially the younger generation. And that topic is mental health, anxiety, and depression. So let's get started. Mental health has to do with your personality being mentally, spiritually, socially, physically just out of tune. It doesn't help you function on a regular day basis. It really brings you down on a serious level and to levels where I didn't really understand. That's why one of the reasons I wanted to go over this topic was because mental health, even depression, anxiety, it's something that I've never been through. So it's a topic that I'm really distraught on and that kind of confused me when I've seen people go through it. Not really confused, but it's something that I've obviously you've never been through something yourself. So you're kind of backed up on it and want to see what how it functions and how it really deliberately causes people to break down even, and how it really messes up their day-to-day basis, whether it's just in their jobs, educational wise, just even regular personal social wise. Like it really shuts people down, and it's something that really clings on to people, some people for a very long time. And it's something that I've always wanted to focus on when studying it, because obviously I said it's something that didn't ever catch up to me, but seeing how other people went through it makes you want to explore it even more. For example, depression is sad, loneliness, not being able to function. It's a mental stability that really cripples a lot of people. When I say cripple, just mentally bringing them down inside. And it's something that even during, for example, COVID, people have been going through this a lot. Even the choice of making decisions is hard for a lot of people with depression, because just the overwhelming part of about making choices or just making decisions, it's really tight for them to grasp onto when having this. And it's something I didn't know was really up there for a lot of people, and even a lot of the younger generation. Depression, it can even affect your appetite at times. It can just affect your whole day-to-day life basis, just from something that's just building inside of you, and that's your mind can't really just get rid of a lot on its own. You need help sometimes to get rid of this or to help relieve it, because it's something that some builds inside of people. Like I said, for example, during COVID, when lots of people were stuck inside their homes, maybe some people were stuck not being able to communicate with people on a real personal basis. So when lots of people got back out there, it messed them up to a whole extreme, because they didn't know about any more not any more communication, but their communication skills were lacking even more, especially like I said, younger generations. Because when you're younger, you're supposed to grow into doing these things even more, because at an older in an older sense, communication is always key throughout the entirety of the world. So when you're in a younger generation and your communication skills, especially for people who lack communication skills already, like very intrusive to themselves, that's already going to mess people up. And having depression or even anxiety, which I'll go over soon, it'll really just dawn on you that it will mess you up on a really bad basis. Now, anxiety is something that is almost like a pulse that almost you can't control it to settle yourself down. For example,
taking a test or an exam. It's almost like you can't settle yourself down to concentrate on that exam. Or let's say maybe you didn't study as hard for this exam and you're looking on those questions, looking back at you, and it dawns to you and you're almost overreacting of stress because maybe you might not know the answers, or you're just stressed out, maybe you're going to fail, or you're stressed out you're not going to do as good as you want to do. It's something that really builds, it's almost like a tensity. And it's a real problem for a lot of people. Even if you don't have depression or mental health issues, anxiety is still something that builds in you, and it's almost like a tension that can't let go. It's like I've met people who have been through anxiety or still go through anxiety, and they're just really tense in their own way because it's almost like their reactions are very, very scarce in a way. For example, maybe just talking to them about a touchy subject and they'll get very tense, very edgy, very, very defensive almost in a way because it's just something that triggers them and something that is not usually seen, or even if you don't know that it's happening, you almost think, what's going on? Because it's not something maybe you're not used to. Just like for me, it wasn't something I was used to. So when they were just tensing up, almost edging me away, almost pushing me away, almost overreacting in a sense, it kind of throws you off. It kind of throws your balance off to try to understand what's happening, but you don't. Maybe you think they're just weird in a sense, but no, there's actually more going on in their lives or in their head than you it might not seize the eye.
When it comes to picking up anxiety and depression, it could be through genetics from your family or even a stressful event that happened in your life. Say a death in the family that really caused you to go through something that could really dawn on you on an emotional, spiritual, social, obviously mental level. There are people who, if someone, God forbid, passed away, that they would almost break down in a sense. Like they were really close to that person. So now the depression and anxiety of anybody even thinking of passing away again would really take a tone on them, would really put a boulder on their shoulders. So, or like I said, it's something that could happen genetically. Maybe your family was caused with mental health issues before you, because I've seen this where a good friend of mine, his and this is why one of the reasons why I want to go over this topic is a good friend of mine. His parents, not his parents, but his more of his mother, has really bad anxiety, and himself as well, and sometimes it causes him to sometimes act irrationally, obviously, and it causes him to overthink things a lot, and it really puts a tone on how that person is socially, because sometimes when we're in social groups, it's a lot for them to take in some of the things stuff we're doing, because oh, maybe you don't want to get in trouble in a sense, or oh, maybe this is too much for me. It really takes a tone on their own lives. There are so many ways of getting rid of or even dealing with the stress of anxiety and depression. And these tools are things like nutrition or just fixing your life for the better. Just major changes in your life, because it really wasn't as serious as I really thought it was. Like there are people who go to therapy for this. There are people who have to crucial lifestyle changes have to be made for people to go through this. Like I said, therapy, some even medication. Like it's a really jaw dropping experience that sometimes you don't know. It really was one of those situations where I didn't know how bad it was until you really dive deep into the topic at hand. Like I said, people take therapy, medication, nutrition, uh, obviously social changes, like change maybe not changing your social circle, but
making sure it's more of a better experience for you, making sure even the people who are in your social circle know how to deal with you in a sense, or know what to not do around them. Like just taking care of yourself, even exercising, just all these things just occur with a lot of people on a hard level that's not really something that even sometimes they can communicate with a lot of people. Like I said, it's just a mental health issue that you don't know really the seriousness of it until you dive deep into it. It really takes a toll when your mental health is not up to par, because your brain is something that always needs to be healthy. Depression, anxiety, just mental health in general is something that really has sustained its way to a lot of even the younger generation, like the younger generation, like Gen Z, even like people around my age, like 24 in their early 20s, maybe just getting into their 20s. It really takes a toll on their lives when your brain is not functioning well, or you're just very stressed out about even the most minute things. And the fact that they sometimes need to step back, even sometimes meditate, relax, always keep that social connection up to par, even taking medicine and therapy, having to talk to people about this in depth, it really takes a toll on their lives, and how functioning isn't just a regular aspect in their lives anymore. It really deprives them of that social aspect, especially growing into an adult where it's your social and your social circles need to be connected. And it shows me that even though I'm a beginner learner on this topic, that you never know if I will go through it. I will never know if I'll go through it. And from that, it's always good to learn and study up on this before it happens, cuz like I said, it's never happened to me. I've never been through this, but I've learned of this topic and want to learn more. I'm just in the beginning stages. I'm not even intermediate yet. At least I would say I'm not even intermediate yet, but it's always good to learn on this before it happens, because a lot of people in this younger generation are going through it. Stress, just the stress of everything going on. And like I said, even during COVID, where lots of people lost their social circles and they had to try to get it back, lots of people went through depression. Lots of people went through anxiety during those times, and it was hard for them to pick it back up. And through that, we have to know what we're getting into before it happens. And it's good that I want to learn even more on this topic in the future to make sure I can prevent myself from having it, because it really takes a toll on people's lives. Like I've seen it. I've seen it personally and even within searching. It really takes a toll on people's lives and how they react to the world and how the world reacts to them, and how sometimes it could be harder for them to deal with just even the most minute aspects of life. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to go over this on this podcast, because it's something I want to widen and make sure, if you are going through this, make sure you are getting help. Make sure you are talking to people, keeping your social circles well and tight. Make sure your connection with people are up to par. Make sure you're not stressing yourself out too much, because you got to remember, your brain is your strongest muscle. And mentally, if you can't deal with things in day-to-day life basis, it's really gonna dawn on you. It's really gonna push you back from even seeing your future goals. So that's why I wanted to really focus on this topic for this podcast: mental health, stability, anxiety, and depression. And I just hope that if you are going through it, that you do overcome it. That's the Good Vibes Only podcast. Thanks for watching.